button is and we'll take care of it.
Okay, 6:44 p.m. on February 7, 2019, the monthly meeting of the Affordable Housing Trust. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes from the January 3rd meeting?
Yes, I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of the January 3rd meeting.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Do we have to approve, we don't have to approve the minutes of the,
We can while we're here. I don't know if we
Okay.
need to. It wasn't actually a meeting,
right,
but we
Okay.
can. Town council's guidance has always been, when in doubt, vote on it.
true.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of the January 15th meeting. Oh, actually, well, I kind of was there.
Yeah, of the Easton Housing Authority. I can second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Super duper. Okay. Next up, 26 Pequonnet Avenue. Any update?
The board decided to form a subcommittee to investigate how we want to progress or go forward. They have had a meeting, and they sat down with gentlemen from the department who kind of gave them a list of the things they need to consider, they need to decide about and bring back to the board, and then we'll have to make final decisions. That just happened. It hasn't been reported formally back to the board yet, so everything's in its infancy stage.
Okay, so the subcommittee is charged with investigating all options.
Kind of, yeah, thinking it all through and
Okay.
seeing where we can head and what we can do and, where all the funding's gonna come from.
Does
And
this mean the determination is made that you are selling, or is it just still in, is that one of the options?
it's likely we are selling.
Okay,
And we're just trying to decide because I know you guys we were considering to see if we can continue making that site affordable in some fashion. So I think they're trying to figure out whether that's even feasible or doable.
gotcha.
And so Nikki, myself, and Mr. Truax attended your January 15th meeting of the Easton Housing Authority to chat through some of the ideas and issues around the 26 Pequonnet property. And we are certainly supportive of all your efforts, look forward to further updates, and would love to participate in this subcommittee as appropriate. So do please let us know if
Yep, Kathy
Everybody
will
wants to
certainly
attend.
let you know if
Yeah.
she thinks you guys might be good for you to be there. I'll certainly let her know too, to remember to include you if it makes sense.
great, thank you.
Thank you. That's it for that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to 300 Foundry.
So 300 Foundry Street, the log jam and getting some of the documents drafted seems to be breaking. The Board of Selectmen signed a purchase and sale agreement at their meeting a week or two ago. Town Council has this purchase and sale agreement. They've drafted a deed, and Town Council is working with Global Properties Council or lawyer on drafting some form of a restriction and some form of a funding agreement. Some of the issues and concerns around that are the restriction will have to be a somewhat uniquely drafted document because what we're doing with the property doesn't match any template that DHCD already has. So Town Council, she is working with DHCD and with Global Properties Attorney to draft a unique form of restriction that DHCD can approve and that also complies with Community Preservation Act requirements because the funding proposed from the trust to the project would be CPA money, and there are certain requirements and restrictions for how that is used, one of them being there needs to be a restriction, so they have to make sure it works with that. Also, some of the financing is coming from Dedham Savings, so they need to make sure that the documents also work for Dedham Savings, that they can be approved by them. For the funding from the trust, as we move forward, rather than a grant, it will likely take the form of a 0% interest forgivable loan. So she is working with their attorney on trying to draft that language as well. There's also a challenge in that there is no entity set up yet, so who are these documents between? What BAMC and Global Property do is they create a standalone project-specific LLC for that project. They haven't done that yet. And all of these documents need to track both that entity and the partners of that entity. So it's a lot more complicated than initially considered, but it is moving.
So they will not set up that entity, I'm assuming, until they know that this is going to absolutely go forward.
I think part of all of this conversation is mapping out, setting that up. So they are having conversations, and I had conversations with them earlier this week, and the big thing is their attorney and our attorney need to work it out, and they are doing that.
And they are, so.
So you have confidence.
I am pleased that it is moving forward, and it seems to be going in a very constructive direction.
Okay. So in other words, you kind of have confidence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cautious.
Cautious confidence?
I don't believe anything until like
Cautiously
it's
optimistic?
been done for at least a month and we're finished.
And I agree with that, but I'm
Yes.
just like, you're the eyes and ears at the moment, so I'm just
Yeah.
seeing what your general take is. from it.
I'm optimistic.
Okay.
There have been a lot of conceptual challenges, I think, in both sides, trying to figure out how to actually structure this once you actually get down into the documents. And they seem to have overcome that, gotten clarity in who's responsible for what, and are actually talking about it. So,
Sounds like positive progress and more of a positive outlook than it did last month at this
Yes.
time, so.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
10 Electric Ave.
no real updates. They're, still on track for starting work in spring or summer. Well, as early in spring as they can. And again, town council and their attorney are in direct contact. This is less of a town council issue for either project and more the project proponent not actually engaging with the right people.
Project proponent being Habitat.
Their attorney,
Okay.
who will disappear for several weeks and then
Resurface and,
with an email to someone totally unconnected to the project. We've worked that out.
okay,
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. They're all very busy, and they've got some huge project, I think, in Duxbury, that's taking up a lot of their institutional bandwidth. But
Okey-doke.
Okay, 3 Eisenhower.
So we touched on this a bit earlier before the meeting started. The roof is done, the windows are done, most of the work is done, the electricians are coming on Friday. Nikki is still struggling to get a handyman. We can talk a little further offline after the meeting on trying to identify someone to come in and do some of the more minor elements. Something relevant and interesting to people. So we have the application to DHCD. They are very backlogged. One of the things they have to do is have their legal department review and approve the draft regulatory agreement, which will take another month. But I had a very constructive conversation with them today. What they can do is approve the marketing plan by the end of next week,
And
she
give it the go.
believes, so that we can start our 60-day marketing period. So that is incredibly good news.
You didn't happen to talk to our consultant and find out whether she's kind of like ready to run if she gets that approval
That is
next
my
week?
next step.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yes, getting DHCD was step one.
Yes.
Um,
And I had mentioned to Wayne that if we are continuing to struggle on a handyman, let me talk to the housing authority and we'll send a maintenance man over there.
Okay. I have the first guy that we went with fell off the face of the earth.
It's not unusual.
Next guy, basically, he is willing, able, and wants to do the work. He recalls something differently than, he came in with the toilet, and he said he'd give me a price on it when when he looked up exactly how much the tube cost to replace the tubing. And I said, how about we just get rid of that whole thing? It's a bidet. How, instead of replacing the tubing, just remove it. And he said, oh, I don't do anything with toilets. I would refer you to a plumber. And I said, well, I think you said you could repair this before. He said, no, I said, all right, let's meet at the house. You can look at it again. And so I'm thinking maybe he forgot because he wrote it down for me that he could do it. So.
But yeah, I think if you're taking that fixture out, you might need a plumber
Do you
to.
think so? I
quite
wasn't sure.
possible.
I mean, I don't know. But it was an attachment where, I mean,
Seems like you
Capped
just
off.
like, take off the hose and.
cap it, but if but he seemed to think he could do the repair too, repairing the tubing, which I would have thought would be a little bit more complicated.
But we've
So
got,
either
we've got
way-
like 4 minutes.
Sorry.
so-
Okay,
Either way, yeah, we're, it's coming along,
let me know.
and I will let you know.
I have a plumber on staff that
Yep.
I can consult
I'm gonna
as
give
well.
this guy until Monday to pick a time for me to go over there.
But definitely I can let you talk to Tom.
Okay, great, thank you.
We don't actually have a monthly report. We do have the annual report, which folks have read. And if you would be willing, I would love a motion and a second and an approval of the annual report.
I motion to approve the annual report as submitted by Wayne.
I haven't read it, it's very, very obvious that I haven't read it, because I just got here. Should I scan it?
But
Yes,
the-
please.
The three of us read it. Feel free to scan. March 7th is what? Thursday. It's a Thursday, okay.
Okay,
Which I think is the date people can do still. Okay.
I'm good. I say aye.
Aye.
All in favor?
Did anybody second that motion?
No, yeah, James did.
Thank you.
Okay, next meeting, March 7th. And we still have time to adjourn and run downstairs.
Okay,
Make a
meeting
motion to
adjourned.
adjourn.
I can second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Let's see what time it is.
6:57.